Hello. For the third of our Holy Week reflections, I wanted to share with you some simple Celtic knotwork. This is a way of art meeting craft. So, just by following a few simple rules, you can spend time drawing and adding colour and giving time to a Bible verse without worrying about whether you have any particular artistic skill. I've chosen some words from this morning's Bible reading. Before the cock crows today, you will deny me 3 times. He went out and wept bitterly. And because I'm not a calligrapher, I've just printed these out from the computer. And now I'm going to add a 3-stranded cord to decorate the page. This is really a time of enjoying the colour and enjoying a pause in the day and spending time with a Bible reading. I'm going to start by drawing 3 curved lines down the page, and I'm going to press a little bit harder than usual, and I hope that you'll be able to see the sense of what I'm drawing. So 1, 2, 3. Now as I come to my third, it can cross the first 2, but I'm avoiding the places where the first 2 lines already meet. Now the second stage is to turn those lines into ribbons. Just drawing a second line roughly parallel to each of the lines I've already drawn. As a reflective activity, this does take a little bit of work at the start, but once you're used to drawing the lines, you can let your brain switch off. Here's my third ribbon coming in now. Now, the essence of Celtic knotwork design is to think about ribbons crossing over and under each other, and where that would give light and shade. Now, this is the trickiest bit, and don't worry if you don't get it right all at once. I certainly regularly make mistakes. As well as ribbons, you might think of overpasses and underpasses when you're driving. At this next stage, you take your flat design and you give it some overs and unders. And you do this by rubbing out the lines to make it look like the ribbon you're thinking of is going over or under the ribbon it's crossing. And we alternate over and under. And so I'm going to start here by creating an over. And once it's gone over, the next one is going to be an under. So I'm going to rub out a different pair of lines. And that means the next one we come to is an over. and then I follow it around, and the next one will be an under. So I'm just alternating which pair of lines I rub out. So that was an over and an under. So now we finish that line with another over. And now I go back to a place where the line crosses another ribbon, and I go back and I bring that ribbon into line with it. So if I see here, the ribbon's gone over and then under. So up here, it must go over again. And then if I follow that ribbon all the way through, so an over, an under, an over, that one must be an under, and then we must come all the way down here to an over, and then I'm wondering why I've got an over there, so that probably does mean I've gone wrong somewhere. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Oh, it definitely looks like it should be an under. So let's check my first line. Over, under, over, under, over. Ah, I'm right now. That looks good. And then I'm just checking to see if there's any more I need to do. Over, under. Yes, I think all my junctions there are either overs or unders. And now it's time to add some colour. To create the shading effect, you need the darkest part of each colour to be at the under, thinking of the shadows cast on something as the ribbon crosses. So if I start off with my first purple strand, then I'm just going to mark in the dark areas of shading. So essentially, I'm colouring the unders. And then my overs are going to be the very lightest parts of the shading. And then you can just fill in your ribbon by going from the darker to the lighter. You might want to strengthen your darker colour. You can introduce different colours into the ribbon as long as it's your unders that are darkest. I'm using watercolor pencils, so you can usually get a nice effect by adding some water at the end, but I won't start chucking water about today. Let's try the blue now. You might be starting to see how this can become quite an absorbing process. So again, I start by adding my darkest colour at the under. If you like, this is the next stage on from the meditative colouring books, because you are actually colouring in your own lines. So I think it's a little bit more grown up. So I'm remembering that my lightest shading is going to be at the overs, and then I get gradually darker as I approach the unders. Let me go for a bit of a brighter pink for my last one. This is again not about being fussy about whether you're colouring within the lines or not. It's about the time and the engagement and the pause it brings. So remembering again where it's going to be lightest and then getting gradually darker. And then in this last stage, I'd go back to my colours and perhaps blend some more between the darker and the lighter to bring out the dark and bring out the fading away. And so we have a simple 3-corded strand. God bless.